Hello and welcome back to Open Table Adventures. As always, I am Dan the Baker and I am back today with another episode of Recipes for Adventure, our series where I get to share with you a recipe based on some amazing ttrpg content from across the internet. Today I am bringing you a recipe inspired by the D&D podcast Spells and Whistles, and I'm going to be making for you today a potato soup three-way. Nope, I can't call it that. I cannot call it that. A triple potato soup swirl. A swirly, mixy potato. You know what? Future Dan editing this, you come up with a good title for this. Put it somewhere up here. Great, you're amazing. I love you. Okay, basically I am making potato soup with 3 different potatoes, 3 different colors that I'm going to mix together into a little swirl.
Alright, so this is what we're going to do right now. We're gonna make soup.
But before I get started with all that, what is Spells and Whistles? Well, Spells and Whistles is a D&D actual play podcast set in the homebrew world of the Inked Expanse, a steampunk-style, colorful world supposedly created from a child's drawing. Their motley crew of characters is played by the amazing Ben at Ben's Corner, Meg at Meg Not Margaret, Grace at Ghostlight G, and Bryce, who I don't have social media for. All under the watchful eye of GM Anastasia at Clever Adventurer.
I can't help but feel accomplished. What's next?
Now, to get started with this three-way, let's talk about our ingredients. The 3 types of potatoes I have for you today are Idaho, our white potato, our orange potato, sweet potatoes, and our purple potato, Ube.
You guys started this!
Why are they so calm?
They want out of this weird-ass situation that you guys made for them!
We just want answers! They were gaslighting us! That's not allowed!
I'm gonna make each of these separately into their own potato soups, and at the end, we'll make some magic happen. And to go alongside all of our potatoes, we have some other vegetables. For our Idaho potatoes, I have white onion and garlic. For our sweet potatoes, I have ginger and carrots. And for our ube, I have a parsnip. Just one. Now, to get started, these potatoes need a haircut. Let's peel. Now, while that's going on, let's talk a little bit about why I chose to make this recipe for Spells and Whistles. So like I said earlier, Spells and Whistles is a steampunky fantasy adventure. And these characters spend a lot of time traveling across this amazing colorful world. And among the party, there is Melwyn, a warlock with a penchant for cooking. And on those cold nights on the Inked Expanse, she likes to make a nice hearty soup for her party members. So I thought, why don't I make a nice hearty soup for y'all? The Spells and Whistles party consists of aforementioned Melwyn, a curious but unlucky tiefling girl armed with a bit of lightning and a bag of spices, Odynn, a triton with a giant hammer and trident, local fish out of water, and all-around best shark lady, Nong, a human gremlin of a child, Myla, a blue fire ganassi with a keen mind for inventing and self-proclaimed bad criminal, and Id, a human paladin, protector, and short king. Together, they do their best to investigate the world and each other, with varying results. Check out some of their amazing adventures across this colorful world, meeting colorful people, and sometimes having some colorful language in some of their encounters. Now that that's all sorted, I'm going to cut up everything as needed, and I'm going to meet you over at the stove.
Melon's gonna fill a pot with something, I don't know, soup stuff. Pop it down on top of the stove with her amazing strength.
So I'm just going to show you one of the soups in our 3-way because they all have pretty much the same process. So for our Idaho potato soup, I have a pot here. I'm going to turn on medium-high heat. And to that pot, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of canola oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. Next, I'm going to add our onions and our garlic. Stir that up a little bit. Now I'm going to let this sit for just a couple minutes, stirring intermittently until the vegetables get a little soft and a little crispy.
Why is it up to me?
Because they're yours?
Okay, but I'm not the leader here, you are.
What? What do you mean?
Well, you and Myla.
No, it's just Myla.
Sorry.
Okay.
Now that my veggies have had some time to cook, I'm gonna add in all of our Idaho potatoes and 2 cups of vegetable stock. You can use any stock that you like. I prefer the veg. I'm now gonna turn the heat down to a low simmer. I'm gonna stir just a little bit, make sure everything is mingling up nicely. I'm gonna lightly cover the pot and let this simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. For the sweet potatoes, it may take a little less time, and for the ube, it may take a little more time. But I'll check back on this in just a little bit.
You're going to watch this pot, and you are going to make sure it doesn't start boiling, because then we have a very different dish on our hands, and a bit of a problem.
Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. I'm just gonna quickly test the tenderness with a fork. And yeah, that's going right through, nice and easy. Perfect. Now it's time to blend. I'm using my fancy little hand blender here, but you can use whatever blender you have available. I'm just going to stick this in and blend until everything is nice and smooth. All right, that is nice and blended. Next, I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of half and half and blend just a little bit more. Now this is looking gorgeous. Next, I'm gonna give it just a little taste. And it's gonna need a little bit of salt. Now just add as much salt as you think is necessary, as much as you want. I'm a salty bitch, so I'm gonna add quite a bit. Much better. Now I'm gonna do the rest of the soups, and I will see you back at the counter.
If we stop fighting, can I take them with me?
You can take one.
Okay, now that I've made all of my potato soups, let's combine them. I'm gonna start with the ube because it is the densest. Plop it right in our little dish here. I'm gonna fill the dish up about 1/3 of the way, since there are 3 soups, and that's how thirds work. You know math. You probably don't, you're probably gay. Next, I'm gonna do our Idaho potato soup. I'm gonna get it right in the middle of that ube. Again, going for about 1/3 of the dish. And now finally, I'm gonna take our sweet potato and put it right in the middle once more. And lastly, I'm gonna take a little skewer. This is a toothpick, but you get the dip. And I'm going to swirl it. You wanna be nice and gentle so you don't mix together the colors too much, but you want to be able to see all of the colors at once. And there we have it, our potato triple mixed together. I still haven't come up with a name yet, but I'll put it up here if I came up with one. Anyways, roll the glamour shot. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Recipe for Adventures. Make sure you check out Spells and Whistles anywhere you get your beloved podcast from. And I want to give a special happy 2nd anniversary to those over at Spells and Whistles. And make sure you stick around here at Open Table Adventures for all of the amazing things that we have planned for you. We have more recipes, we have actual plays, one-shots, all of our interviews, and so much more. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. As always, I have been Dan the Baker. This has been Open Table Adventures, and you are always welcome to pull up a seat. Bye-bye.